Hello and welcome back once again. It's time for the Golden Age of DC Comics, 365 days, where I read this book, this coffee table book, given to me by one of my best friends about 2 decades ago, which has been surfing my coffee tables ever since. And you know what goes great with coffee tables and coffee table books? Well, just good coffee. Tanzanian peaberry. It's one of my favorites. It's a medium roast for me. Keep grinding. That's a really good cup of coffee. Good cup of coffee to go with a good coffee table conversation. And so pull up a chair to our coffee table and let's have the old-fashioned comic book shop conversations that we used to have. The Golden Age of DC Comics runs between 1938 and 1955. The Silver Age begins in 1956 with Showcase number 4 and the debut of Barry Allen's The New Flash. The Silver Age ends in 1970, which begins the Bronze Age. That lasts until 1985. And we're currently, according to the wiki, in the modern age of comics runs from 1985 until now. So that's a conversation I want to have with other comic book people. I would love to sink my teeth into this topic. I believe we're in a new age. I believe we just left an age. What age are we in? What age did we just leave? What was the age before that? You know, this is the kind of conversations that I want to be having with you, comic book fans. If you love comics as much as I do, you're tuned into the right channel at the right time. Let's crack this book open and see what today has to bring. It is April the 26th, and we've got some old friends here who are being perpetuated on even to the big screens up until this day. And let's just take a look. Yeah, it is Batman and Robin versus the Catwoman. Here we go. Let's read the blurb and get down to it. Alrighty. Pencils by Jack Burnley, inks by Charles Paris, from the cover of Batman number 42, September of 1947. All right. A common comic book gag involved the drawing of people apparently pulling back the cover to reveal what's going on, view within. Here, Batman and Robin find Catwoman, although it's not quite clear if she's lurking or cringing. The story inside, Claws of the Catwoman, show the feline felon escaping from prison to embark on a series of crimes based on the cats in children's literature. By this time, Catwoman was well established as one of Batman's most memorable opponents, a creature of the night who seemed to be almost his opposite number. Yet she began as an ordinary, if attractive, jewel thief whose name, the Cat, referred strictly to her stealthy ways, and took her time evolving into the costumed Queen of Crime, as we know today. Isn't that cool? I mean, Catwoman is such an enduring character, and this relationship that she's had with Bruce and Batman from the 1940s goes on even to now. I just got back a couple of weeks ago. I hung out with the YouTube creators and fellowship that I've connected with out here, and we were blessed to go see the Batman together. Now, it was an endurance test of a running time. It was a really kind of, it was the flashing was a bit cringe-inducing, and it was really uncomfortable on some levels to have this like flickering light like right in your face, and but we saw Batman, and it's once again telling the story of Batman and Catwoman, and it's an archetypical relationship of the sun chasing the moon in a way, and sometimes they catch up in an eclipse, and most of the time they're chasing each other in the sky, and it's the story of Batman and Catwoman is constantly being reset for a new group of new readers and a new era. DC Comics does every once in a while a house cleaning event called a crisis. And it's what it does. If you can think about comic book continuity and canon as a fine Persian rug, all right, over time, if you leave the rug alone, it's going to get dirty in some places. It's going to be more well-tread in some places. There might be a cigarette burn or in a place. There might be a wine stain in some place. There might be a lot of dust underneath it. So to pick up the Persian rug, the beautiful Persian rug that's very valuable, to shake it off and to clean it and to restore it and to clean under it and then to lay it back out for proper use again. This is just a metaphor, yet this is how I see something such as DC's continuity and canon, and why these crisis stories are very important. They mark new ages and an ability to turn the clock back a bit, to reset the characters, and to also to enjoy that voyage once again. Even in the New 52, we got the joy of experiencing Selina and Bruce all over again. And that's part of the magic between, in my humble opinion, the magic is that dynamic. And perhaps they're the more dynamic duo because he gets really charged out of Selina. And you know what? Even this Batman here and this Catwoman, canonically, okay, now that you probably know what a multiverse is. And so the Golden Age characters, these characters are known as the Earth 2 characters. And as opposed to the Super Friends who are on Earth 1 or New Earth or Earth 0 or whatever they call it these days. But this Batman and this Catwoman, they get married. He retires from being Batman and becomes Commissioner Bruce Wayne of the Gotham PD. They marry and they have a lovely daughter named Helena, who grows up to be the Huntress. And there's a famous late 70s Batman comic book called The Death of Batman, where Bruce breaks his oath and he puts on the Batman suit one last time, where he loses his life. And it's a pretty big story. Yeah, the canonical Death of Batman, but it's the Earth 2 Batman. And this would be, in the future, the Earth 2 Batman and Catwoman, the parents of Helena Wayne, the Huntress. And isn't that nice trivia, huh? I love the deepness of DC stories and the continuity. I'm also a big fan of these crisis stories I was talking about, that we get to, clean the rug. We get to just, hey, this is a beautiful rug. We love this rug. We sit on this rug. We eat, on this rug. We watch our shows. Maybe, that's me and your mom invented you one night on the rug, shit like that. But still, the continuity, especially DC continuity, for me, has always been a fine Persian rug that just needs, every once in a while, a little love. It needs some cleaning. And that's why I've always been a huge fan of these crisis stories, however they're presented, whether it's called Flashpoint, whether it's called Death Metal, or whether the new one is called Dark Crisis, and that's coming out this year. I won't be tuned in for it, but I will enjoy it from afar, watching all the wonderful YouTube channels and the comic book channels that I pay attention to. And I'm very grateful for all of those stations too, like Wes at Thinking Critical and Comics by Perch. And they're just great. They're my cup of tea. It might not be yours, but they're definitely my cup of tea. And hopefully I'm brewing up a cuppa that you like too for the coffee table talk with some coffee and this coffee table book. It's delicious. Keep grinding. Keep grinding, keep putting out your content, and keep coming back for more comic book talk. You know what? We're going to be talking about comic books every day for the rest of the year. So you tune in tomorrow, 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern, and find out who we're talking about and what when we crack the book open and see what tomorrow brings. Thank you so very much for tuning in. I really appreciate you. I'm very grateful for you. oh, YouTube viewer, please like and subscribe. I would love to earn your subscription. I'm a professional chef. I make delicious, nutritious, and beautiful food, and I hope that these are like hacks for you to do this at home for your loved ones. I have a playlist called What's Cooking. Tune into that. I'm a spiritual guy, an ordained minister, an amateur theologian. We get spiritual here. I got a playlist called The Gratitude Lists and the Sunday Sermons, where we get spiritual, and I can hopefully share with you the power of gratitude as it was shared with me, and the impact it had on my life. And we also talk about comic books every day. So yeah, I would love to be part of your daily YouTube experience. So I would love to earn your subscription. Thank you so much for tuning in. God bless. Namaste. Good luck. Hang in there, and we'll see you tomorrow, okay? Same Sully time, same Sully station. Cheers. Hot tamale.